All right, if you're joining us, you're here for a treat. We're going to talk about how to double your income from referrals, farming, and past clients. We've got the awesome Darryl Davis. He's not only brilliant at what he does, best-selling author, amazing keynote speaker, but he's also a funny guy. So you're in for a treat in that sense as well. Darryl always makes us crack up, and we learn along the way. So let's get this thing started, Darryl.
All right, brother, let me share my screen. I'm very excited to be here. Let me find that little share thing and click on the thing like this. And I'm clicking.
Boom. Look at that.
Am I sharing my screen now? Although it's not.
I see your Zoom screen.
Okay, so we're going to go like this. And for some reason, I don't know what I did with my screen share, but I can't see you now. So give me 1 second, because I would really like to see you.
Thanks, man.
And but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to get started because we got a lot to cover. Okay?
Let's go.
All right. So first of all, Tristan, thanks for having me. I'm very excited. I'm going to cover a few things here. First of all, I have, oh, you see it's not working. Hang on. I have gifts. I have gifts for your people.
Oh.
What we did is, yes, we created this little link just for LabCoatAgents.
Yes.
So if everybody just pays attention to that little link there, darrylspeaks.com/LCA. Did I get that right, Tristan?
You got it.
All right. There's going to be gifts for them. Well, we'll talk about it later. Let's get into this seminar, this topic we're going to talk about. So I want to discuss, before I get into the content, there's the difference between going wide versus going deep. You know, what I've learned, Tristan, in doing these webinars so much now is that you can put webinars into one of those categories. You know, going wide, there's a ton of stuff, a ton of information, whereas when you go deep, you may just take one piece of training or one distinction and go deep on it and get really good at that one thing. So in this, we're going wide. So the point here is I just want to warn everybody that you're not going to be able to implement everything I'm going to give you because it's that wide. It is loaded with content. So if you're half watching, half listening, I'm going to invite you to stop doing what you're doing, get focused, and just give us this hour, because I think there's some really good content here for you. So we're going to talk about past clients, referrals, farming. First, let's talk about the advantage of farming. Number one is eventually business starts coming to you, right?
Yeah.
So when you have a farming campaign that you're working, after a while, people will start seeking you out. So that's one of the big advantages. The second one is there's no more cold calling, because if you're promoting, advertising, mailing, door knocking to your farm, when you do call them, it's now not cold because they're already aware of you. You know, I love, Tristan, this definition. I came years ago. The definition of self-promotion is to have people know your name, face, and what you do for a living. And so part of farming is doing that, is branding you, and people get to know you. So when you call them, you're following up on some mailing or some promotional thing that you've sent out. Third thing is it's a non-threatening way to prospect. You know, Tristan, as you know, my specialty in training our students is FSBOs and expireds. And I love calling FSBOs, love calling expireds and teaching that. That's a little harder. Like, an agent needs a little bit more chutzpah to make those kind of calls. Here, when it comes to farming, it's non-threatening. You're giving stuff, you're educating, and over time, it will generate revenue for you. Number four, eventually, when you work in your farm, a steady flow of income will eventually start coming to you. You can almost count on this farm area is going to generate X amount of dollars a month, which is really important on our business, right? Because our money goes up and it goes down. So to have that steady cash flow is a positive thing. So let's talk about how to prepare for your farm, what you should be doing, and then I'll give you strategies on how to work it. First is you want to look at what your niche market is. So the most common is geographic, right? So we'll pick a location, we pick an address, and around that address, we'll get 200, 500 homes, thousands, whatever. But there are other niches that you can pursue. For example, you can pursue price range. Like, I know Tristan, Jake and I were just talking, like, you know, you've got your team doing, but you've got, when people want to work just with Tristan, you might be focusing more on the higher end. Am I right?
Yep, you're right.
So you can look at focusing on a price range. Another area is condos and co-ops. That's a totally different animal. You've got rules and regs you've got to deal with. You got to deal with a board of people. When you master that area, you can promote that you're an expert in it. Style of home, you know, some like contemporary, some like older, like I'm a Tudor colonial guy. You know, if it's got hardwood and it creaks, I love it. Then you've got ethnic. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about fair housing, but we had Tristan in my company that I used to manage, Sue Wong, Korean lady, wonderful lady. Because she was Korean, her network were other Koreans, of course. And so she worked that because that was the culture she came from. She spoke their language literally, right? Another would be investors. You know, what's interesting about residential property is buyers buy with emotion. Yeah. And they justify their purchase with logic. Whereas with investors, they buy based on logic, based on the numbers. Oh, yeah. So if that was going to be your niche, that's a different style, different approach. Retirees and first-time buyers. So there's just some examples. But again, the most common when we talk about farming is geographic. Here's the second thing. So pick your niche. Second thing is look for a niche which hasn't been exploited by another agent, if possible. So Tristan, when I started real estate, I was 19, and I met this guy in I was 21. His name was Mac Levitt. And Mac decided to open up a real estate office, very successful agent. And so he asked me to be his manager, and I helped open it from scratch with him. Anyway, Tristan, this guy, his slogan was, Mac Levitt, your waterfront specialist. You know, not a real creative slogan, but that was just, you knew what he did, right?
Yeah, that's to the point.
So anyway, he listed and sold in Oceanside, Long Beach, New York, Long Island, Freeport, and he knew waterfront, man. Tristan, he had a high tide, low tide water table that based on the table, he would determine when he would actually show properties. Like he'd want to show properties when it was high tide versus low tide. Mm. And so he knew backwards, like he knew how much it costs to fix bulkheading, and he could look at it and tell you how many years is left on the bulkheading. He was a specialist when it came to waterfront. Now, if you, Tristan, decided you wanted to get into doing real estate Oceanside, waterfront property, you'd be having to compete against Mac. Are you with me?
Yeah, 100%.
So the problem is when you compete with another agent, that's going to influence your marketing because now you're not building market share for yourself. You've got to take market share away from this person. Their name's going to be coming up on listing appointments. You're going to be forced to compare yourself, right? Yeah. So it's better to, and by the way, I'm going to shout out my favorite book. This book helped me create my coaching and training company. It was called Marketing Warfare, written by Jack Trout and Al Reese. And without getting lost in the weeds on that book, because I love that book, I talk about that book all the time. It talks about looking at carving out your own niche. And I'll just give you one example. You had Burger King and McDonald's, they're fighting for market share. So Wendy's, they came out with, hey, where's the beef? Meaning those guys were looking for the children's market. Wendy's said, the heck with that, I'm going to go for the adult market. They carved out their own niche. You follow me?
Yeah.
And there's companies like, there's other examples in that book. So it's better for an agent to try and do an area that hasn't been exploited where they can carve out their own niche. Number 3 is determine the number of people going to have in their farm. So I'm going to show you a graph that we show our power agents, which is our members in our coaching program, in just a minute, that talks about determining the numbers. One of my favorite tools that we tell agents to use is the Realtor Property Resource, RPR. This is, to me, what's amazing to me about this software, this platform, is it's free to realtors and it has so many bells and whistles. And one of the things that you can do for the agents that aren't familiar with this, RPR, is that you can download some really great information about an area you're considering about being your farm area. So as you can see on the screenshot, it'll tell you what's happening in prices, income levels, etc. You can download a mailing list, at least I don't think you can, but it will give you information about the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Here is the chart that we give our students, Tristan. Now, I don't want to get lost in the weeds on this either, because I can talk about this for 30 minutes on how to fill it out. But just, bigger is not better. This chart shows that in the farm area 3, which is the largest one, 250, the other two is 200, 150. If you look at the data, like average sales price, if you go down 2, you got 250, 300, and then underneath that is a commission based on that. But then number of homes sold. Anyway, when you go through all the numbers, you'll know. I'm sorry, what'd you say, buddy?
No, I said, I see that. I'm seeing the difference. Wow.
Yeah. So the third farm area, your ROI, your rate of return is 1,020%, whereas with farm area 2, it's actually better. So the point here is,
wow,
bigger is not always better. You have to look at other things like the turnover rate, the average list price and sales price ratio, yada, 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 and your marketing, how much money you're going to spend, which is going to go bring us to the next thing in just a minute. Identify your competition strengths and weaknesses. So even if you carve out your own niche, there's still other real estate companies, other agents, and you need to kind of know what their strengths and weaknesses are, right? So I'll give you an example of this, Tristan. When I got into training, up years ago, long time, right? 30 years now. When I got into training, I was looking at the type of training that was out there, and that still is out there, which is, script-based, which we do have some dialogue, but most of the stuff I saw out there was a lot of scripts, a lot of technique. And I want us to go in another direction. So our strength is not scripts, not closing people, but coaching. Power agents, we don't close people, we coach people. So, we try to have that be our philosophy when we're comparing ourselves to other trainers. So it's the same thing here for an agent. They've got to look at, Tristan, what makes them stand out from the other agents in their marketplace. We never talk bad about other people, but you do want to find out what your strengths and weaknesses are. Promote your strengths. Number 5 is get an appropriate photo. Tristan, I have to tell you this. We got some guys, they're using photos, their high school photo, like when they had hair.
That's so funny.
Right. You ever see any of the guys? There was a time, I don't think we see them anymore. There was those photos that were glamour shots.
Yes.
And you would look at the card of the glamour and the person, and you'd be like, who's this person? I want to meet this person. It's different. Where is she? And so the same, I'll give you for an example here. Listen, this guy's probably a nice guy. These are realtors. These are 2 realtors. I don't know who they are. I found them on the internet. I'm sure this is a really nice guy, Tristan. But, I don't know what he's holding in his hand. I think he's at a museum and he's using some phone that he got somewhere. Okay. But this is even worse. This is actually a realtor's business photo, Tristan.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like, come on. Like, okay, hi, I'm a realtor, and because of that, I'm also an alcoholic. It's not good. It's like I know that's how we feel sometimes, but I would not advertise and promote that. So get an appropriate photo. Number 6 is you want to save some money. See, here's the thing about farming, Tristan, that everybody needs to know, and you know this. The thing about farming, this is why I love FSBOs and expireds, because that's now business. The challenge with farming, there's so many advantages, but here's the challenge. It takes time and money. There's a reason why I believe we call it farming. I don't know it. I've never heard anybody say this, but Tristan, it makes sense to me that we call it farming because the analogy is when you really farm, you plant the seed and then you water it and you cultivate it and then you pray on it and you wait.
Yeah.
Right? So it takes time and money. With same thing here, real estate agents should not spend money they don't have. You should not start a farming campaign unless you're financed to go about 6 months until you start seeing a return on that.
True.
So, for example, this is one of the charts we give our power agents because we give them so many forms and flyers and checklists. And you'll notice we tell power agents, listen, you got to have a campaign. You should you write down on the left, what's the advertising and branding vehicles you're going to use? Print advertising, we're going to do that, a market update, mailing, neighborhood market report, door knocking, canvassing, social media, And then you strategically map out, this is when I'm going to do it on these months. You're going to have a holiday drive here, so you pull back some of your money there.
Ooh.
So you're running your business like a business, you see.
Do we get this in the darrylspeaks.com/LCA?
Yes. This is, as a matter of fact, you know what, Tristan, I'm going to give the LCA LabCoatAgents, they're going to get a copy of all these slides. When they go to that site, it's going to be like $5, and they're going to get everything for $5. Give me, ooh.
Ooh.
All right, that's good. All right. So let's go through events. So I'm not going to teach all these events. By the way, no agent should do all these events, because if you did all these events on the screen, you would be an event planner and not a realtor. So don't do that. Right? But what I want you to do is pick 1, 2, or 3 events that you may want to do in a year. I'm going to show you one. I'm really excited. I love the one I'm going to share with you in just a minute.
Okay.
So first of all, I'll cover 3. Easter egg hunt, photo with a bunny. That's fun, right? You bring the community together. You hide the eggs. Everybody runs around. What do they say? The fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, the fastest way to a parent's heart is through the children. So anytime you do children events for your farm area, that's a win, right? Here's another one. Is 4th of July. One of our power agents, man, he's really kicking it. His name's Larry Gardner. Last month, I think it was last month, the month before, he did all of what he did all of last year. 6 figures, he's killing it. And he does this, and that's rent an ice cream truck, do a postcard promotion, letting everybody know in the farm area, I'm going to be around this day and giving out free ice cream to the kids. All right, I like that. Yeah. Now, he's really aggressive, so he puts his business cards on the ice cream, which is a little crazy, I think, but whatever. And the kids, who's Larry? I don't care. Give me the ice cream. The next one is a pumpkin contest and trunk or treat. So you do one or the other. So let me show you this. This trunk or treat thing. Have you heard about trunk or treat, Tristan?
Dude, I for a second thought you said trump or treat, but then I read it and it says trunk or treat. So
thank you. I might have said Trump because we have something happening, here.
I don't even want to go there.
We're so not going to go there. We're so not going to go there because we're going to piss off half the people one way or the other.
Anyway, that is a great idea, Darryl. Trunk or treat.
Have you heard of trunk or treat?
Dude, I haven't. It's my first time.
Oh, I'm so happy I'm here because let me tell you something. I like to think I'm a really good parent, and I've done so many things for my son growing up. Now he's in his 20s. I never, in all my years of being a parent, have I heard this. I heard about it last year, and I love this because what you do. Let me show some pictures. What you do, what an agent does, is instead of the kids going door to door, Tristan, the agent will promote that we're going to have an event, a trunk or treat event, where all of the neighbors will pull up to a parking lot and they will decorate their trunk and they'll have the candy there. And then the kids go from trunk to car to do their little trunk or treat. Isn't that great?
Dude, that is a brilliant idea, man.
Now, let me tell you why it's so brilliant. It's obvious, right? Yeah. First of all, it's a community thing. It's a promotional thing. It's a safe thing, Tristan, for the kids.
Yeah, man.
It's easy for the parents. I mean, come on. Do you think the parents really love, like, walking from door to door? They don't walk door to door for their own health. Maybe some do. I'm not a walker. So I'm sorry to admit that. I'm not. But, that's fine. But anyway, here's my point, is that it's easier for the family get together. But here's the best part, Tristan. You got your whole farm area in a parking lot that on an event that you coordinated, and you get to meet and greet all the homeowners, the neighbors. Plus, it's safe too because it's outdoors. This is what I did. Great idea, man. We were so excited about this. We built a whole campaign, Tristan, this e-guide on how to promote a trunk or treat event with flyers, dialogue, letters, calling the neighbors to promote it, Anyway, I'm going to give this to all of the members, you people on that website there. They're going to get the actual e-guide for this. Isn't that cool?
Dude, I already went on. I'm going to send this to my team. So
okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. So that's the website there. Okay. Now let's go on. make sure we use a management software to manage your farm. You know, your farm. You can't manage a farm without some kind of CRM. You know, we have one for our members called the Power Builder, but it could be Top Producer, it could be whatever else is out there, but Lion Desk, but have Wise Agents and other, but make sure you have a CRM to manage your farm. Next one is develop your mailing list. Now, I know RedX has a way to help their members get a mailing list. It's called GeoLeads. So there's RedX, that company, they've got a thing called GeoLeads. Another one is the Cold Directory, where you can download leads. There may be other things, but these are the two companies that we know to help agents get and download a geographic farm area. All right, let's go into working our farm. How are we doing on time? We doing all right?
Yeah, dude, you good. You got
right.
another about 25, 30 minutes. So
okay, good. All right. Number one is we're going to mail an intro letter to everybody. So this is, we're going to take it from the top. Let's say you're not working your farm, you're starting from scratch. And if you've been working it for a while, I got ideas for you too, but I like to teach right from the beginning.
All right.
So your intro letter might be, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Hana. My name is Darryl Davis. I specialize in selling homes in your area. I've chosen this area because it's blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
I love this second paragraph, Tristan. As you probably know, our town is going through a renaissance. What I love about that, renaissance can mean a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right? It can mean good, it can be not good, but it's a renaissance, right?
I love that word, man.
I love that word. So anyway, so that's that letter. So you mail your intro letter. Next thing you're going to do is start doing your mailings to update people. Now, Tristan, I'm going to show you something. We give our students a ton of promotional flyers and mailing pieces and but I'm going to tell you, this is a really simple thing. It's 4 letters. So let me show you the 4 letters. So month 1, after the intro letter, you might mail out this letter that says, Dear neighbor, I'm delighted to announce that I just listed the home located at Umpty Ump Lane. Now, next month, Dear neighbor, I'd like to announce I just sold a home. The next letter, watch this one. This is where it gets really good, especially for new agents. Dear Hana, I wanted to let you know the following homes have sold in the subdivision. Now watch this, Tristan. This agent sends out this letter on their letterhead saying that here's what recently is sold. Agent is the one that sold these homes, but that's not what it says. I'm just giving you an update of what's sold.
Yeah.
But the agent's branding themselves, right? All right, now watch this. The next month, hey, I just want to tell you, here's all the houses that have listed and sold in the last 30 days. That's 4 months. Now, month 5, you go back to the first letter. And here, let me tell you something. Tristan, I've seen agents that all they did is take these 4 letters and just change the addresses in them and just rotate it every month. But you know what happens? It creates a perception to all the neighbors. Ming, Tristan, he's listing and selling everything in this neighborhood. My gosh. If I'm going to hire anybody, I'm going to hire this guy because he's doing all the business over here. You follow me?
Oh, dude, this is beautiful. They don't even ask questions when you're there. They're like, just how much do I need to list my home for?
Exactly. You create that perception of being an authority and that you know what you're doing. Yeah. Here's the next thing. We know this car manager. That's why I said consider it. Like, you know, it may be a good idea. Why not? It's a tax write-off. You can go small. You know, just these are inexpensive. Slap it on, drive around your neighborhood. Or you can do those wraps. You just got to be careful. Don't forget, Tristan, I know some agents, they forgot that they have this on their car and they curse at somebody. You cut me off. Oh. You got to be careful. You know?
Flip people off on the freeway. That's not gonna work, especially now.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you have road rage, maybe you should have 2 cars. You know, one that is... When you're having a bad day, take the one without the wrap.
That's so funny, man.
Right. So here's some examples. It gets to now. I love this. I have some power agents, Tristan. What they do is they have this thing which is like, hey, you buy or sell, call us. You get to use this truck, right? And at the bottom there in the left by the wheel well, it says available for local charities. Now, let me tell you what I've seen, Tristan. Some power agents, what they've done is they've actually given this truck to anybody who wants to use it, whether they do business with them or not. Here's why. If, let's say, somebody sold their house, even if it was a FSBO or with another agent, and they'd be borrowing this truck because it's a local move, All the neighbors on that street are going to think that this Remax agent over here from Equity Group, they were the one that was involved in this. It becomes a billboard in front of the house that they maybe didn't even sell. So wherever this thing is parked is a good thing. Okay. Hold how-to seminars for buyers or sellers. Here's a couple of suggestions, like for a buyer workshop, how to find your perfect home. Here's another one, how to sell your home successfully in today's market. But here's what I want to tell people about doing these, which obviously we don't want to do these in public. You do these virtually. You use Zoom to do it. So, we have an address on there, but the concept is to just do a seminar online. The power in doing this, Tristan, is it positions the agent as an authority on the topic on how to sell your house successfully in today's market. That's number one. Number two is the agent doesn't have to do the whole thing, right? Like, you're smart, Tristan. You're doing all this work for these agents, the LabCoat, these webinars, but you're having people like me and other people bring their knowledge to the table, right? Which is, instead of you every day, 4 times a day, trying to do this. Now, which is brilliant. I'm working for you.
Thanks, Darryl. Thanks.
You're really smart. I'm over here busting my butt for Tristan. No check. Anyway, so here's the point. When you have guest speakers, it fills up the time. You don't have to know a whole hour on how to sell your house in today's market. You have a title company or an attorney or a home inspector you give. But here's the other thing. These people, you tell them, promote it to their list of people on social media. So they're going to bring more people that's not in your base of people, and it expands your promotion. Here's another idea, and I love this one, Tristan, is be very active in a Facebook community group. Tristan, here's what I can tell you, and you know this because you use social media so well, so I live in Wading River. And there's a closed group called the Shoreham Wading River Community Group. This group, does it show on the screen how many people? No. This group there's a lot of people in this group, but the most important thing is very active. Now, Tristan, here's what I'm going to tell all the agents that are watching what they should do. Whatever farm area that they're working, they should find that closed group, and there might be more than one, and join the group. And then be very active in that group. Here's why I love this. Tristan, this right here is called digital farming. It costs no money to mail anything out. Yeah. It costs really no heavy lifting. I tell power agents to use the closed group as if it was their own. Now, I'm not saying to pretend that it's their group, but I want them to take ownership like it's theirs, meaning every morning check in on the group and see what's happening in the group and how can you help the group. So, for example, this over here, there's a Halloween downtown festival zombie thing. I'd find out, can you have a booth there? How can you put this in there, right? Watch this. Here's another thing. This Laura over here, she was looking for an orthopedist for her broken foot. Look at the comments underneath there, 22 comments. You know what I would do? I would write over there, say, hey, Laura, I found some people that I think you want to check out, and I'd give a couple of recommendations to Laura. Here's another one. This Michelle over here, please help. Our dog Milo went missing in the backyard. You know what I would do? I would reach out to Michelle. Michelle, how can I help you? Let's put up some signs together. Let's make some flyers. Where did you lose the dog? Let me get my flashlight. I'd be out there helping Michelle find the dog. So when she finds that dog, look, oh, she's happy. Hooray, we got the dog. Everybody's happy. Are you with me on this, Tristan?
Dude, 100%. I'm going to add one thing to this. And that's Please. When it comes to groups like this and you get a good feel as to how it works, how it functions, and who the admins are, I would reach out to the head admin or admins and see if maybe you can be somehow the only real estate agent if you're paying them $500 a month or $1,000 a month. But can you imagine in a massive group at that point?
Wow.
Because a lot of admins don't even know they can monetize the group. So when I go to you, Darryl, you're the admin, I'm going to say, hey, man, what if I could give you $1,000 a month? Just let me be the only real estate agent there. And every month, that's $12,000 a year.
I love it. I wish I thought of that. That's good.
Well, let's rewind it and say you did. There you go.
That's all right. I'll give it a credit. Now, that's brilliant, Tristan. That's brilliant. There you go. All right. Now, here's something else, too. I'm going to add to this. Because, Tristan, this is a question. Tell me if you agree with this, that, or what your thoughts are, is that sometimes I've seen realtors that get into these groups and they're more about taking than giving, meaning they're always posting open houses. I just listed something, like they're all business on their end trying to sell a house. And I think that's not a good way to go. I think people will catch on that you're just kind of trying to use the group to make money for yourself. I'm not saying not to do open houses or promote those, but I think a rule of thumb is an agent should give and help others 7 times before they post one real estate piece. What do you think?
100%, dude. Because agents, for some reason, think that they're giving value by saying, hey, look what I just listed. Look what I just sold. Look who I just helped. And it's the opposite. You know, Darryl, that's funny that you bring that up, because I talked about it last week on my newsletter, and it's called Inattentional Blindness. That's when you think that, you know, it's when you think you know what's happening and you're really listening, but you're not. You have no clue what the consumer really wants. Right?
Yeah, wow. That's good. Wait, say it again. What's it? I didn't know that you wrote about this. What's it called?
It's called inattentional blindness. It's a psychological term. So I'll type it in there for everybody who wants it.
Type it in there. By the way, I got with the email today that you sent out with this video you just watched about memories, how they may be false memories. It was a 10 talk.
Yes.
And man, it's awesome. So I watched it. Thank you for that. That was really good.
Thanks for reading.
All right. Yeah, listen, I follow you, Tristan. I listen, I watch what you do.
Thanks, man.
All right. Facebook Live. So here's another thing, is doing videos on topics that might be of useful, like little educational things, like one topic a week, doing that on your business page. You know, so there's 30, but we're not going to go over this. I have so much more to give you. But again, I'm going to give everybody, there you go, darrylspeaks.com/LCA. We're going to give everybody these things as gifts. All right, let's talk about work in your farm dialogue. You know, Tristan, I said this, there's a lot of dialogue we give our power agents when it comes to FSBOs, expireds, and voicemail and but we're going to focus on just the farming. 2 dialogues right now. One is calling them, and then one is door knocking. Hi, this is Darryl Davis, Power Realty. How are you? Good. I hope I haven't interrupted you. The reason why I was calling is I noticed I've been sending you some information about the market to keep you informed about what's going on in the neighborhood. Have you been getting that information? And they'll say yes or no, it doesn't matter. You're going to now want to give them something of value. So let me give you a couple examples of things of value. So the first part is you were just checking up on them to introduce yourself, see if they've been getting the information. The next thing is you want to give something of value. For example, well, one of the things I'm also doing for my neighbors is I'm offering a free report on blank. I understand you folks may not be selling right now, but if you ever do, this is a really great report that's good to have in your paperwork at your home. So, and there's so many different reports out there, right? There's like, you know, the best way to spend money on your property to get the highest rate of return. Like you can usually find reports. Tristan, we just wrote this for our power agents, the Seller's Guide to Real Estate. Ooh. And yeah, I'm really proud of this. Tristan, this thing, let me tell you about my team, Tristan, really quick. When we come up with an idea, they're so talented and they're so passionate. Like, you know, most guides, e-guides are maybe 10 pages, 12 pages. This thing turned out to be like 40 pages long. It's a book because they couldn't stop themselves. They said, listen, gang, you got to stop. We can't write everything in one e-guide. So, then what we did is we created a postcard campaign that agents can then promote the guide and doing a mailing, and even some verbiage on how to create their own landing page as a realtor for people to opt in to get the e-guide. Anyway, I'm going to give this all to your people when they go to that web address. They're going to get all this stuff. This is
wow,
all right? Dude. All right. Now, the second thing. So that's the e-guide. That's one thing of value. Here's the second thing of value this is my personal preference when it comes to the calls, is the free over-the-phone market analysis. Now, Tristan, let me explain the concept on this. There are people that might be interested to know how much their house is worth, but they don't want a realtor to come over and do a sales pitch and try and sign them, right?
Yep, that's true.
So this is one of the reasons why I think that the Zestimate with Zillow, that really helped their business model for that reason.
Yeah.
So the free over the phone market analysis basically says, listen, one of the things we're offering our neighbors too, Tristan, is a free over the phone market analysis. And basically what it is it gives you an idea how much your house is worth in today's market. And the reason why it's done over the phone, the reason why we do this is because, Tristan, we believe your house is one of your most important assets. And just like if you have a stock portfolio, from time to time, you're going to check on how your portfolio is doing. You should check the value of your house at least once a year. So I like to give you that as a gift if you're interested. And then how it works, Tristan, is you tell me, yeah, I'm interested. You say, all right, I just got to ask some questions over the phone. How many bedrooms, how many baths, then you're going to go back to the computer. You're going to do the CMA. You're going to call them back in a day or two, and you're going to say, listen, Tristan, your house is worth somewhere between 1.5 and 1.75. Now, I know that $250,000 is a big spread, but for me to really narrow in on that price, I'd have to see your house. And before I called you, though, I was looking at my schedule. I'm going to be in the area later tonight. I could stop by, run in real quick, give you a more accurate number. Plus, I can drop off the report. Plus, I got a seller's guide on how to sell your house for the highest possible price, 40-page book. Are you available tonight between 6 or 7 better? Anyway, that's how that works. Got it?
I'm excited about the seller's book, that ebook.
It's really awesome.
Dude.
It's 44 pages, man. And it's beautiful. I got talented people. You know, Jake said, Darryl, that's behind me. He was like, is that your handwriting? I said, are you crazy? I'm not that smart or talented. I'm just the front end guy. Anyway, over the phone, free market analysis. You can do it as a mailing. You can do a cover letter. Okay, let's do some door knocking dialogue. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. By the way, anybody watching, we're going to do questions, right, Tristan, at the end?
Yeah, dude, let's do this.
All right, so anybody has questions, hang tight, get ready, because we're going to open up questions at the end. Door knocking. Hi, this is Darryl. How you doing? I hope I'm not interrupting. The reason why I'm stopping by has been sending you information about the market. Same dialogue as the telephone call in the beginning. But now, once they say they've been getting the information or whatever, then you go to this part. Great, I also want to stop by and introduce myself and give something of value, give something a gift. There's anything I can ever do for your family in regards to real estate, my number's at the bottom, and you just give it to, oh, by the way, I'm also offering folks a neighborhood market report. Now, Tristan, this is a little bit different. Let me go over this one. Okay, whoop.
My dog always approves of everything you do, man.
You know, I love your dog. I got to meet your dog. Last time we were going to try and get him on camera, but he, I think, ran away from me. You scared him or something. The neighborhood market report. It's a report that shows two things. Now, Tristan, before I go over this, let me say something. The neighborhood market report, Tristan, is a CMA.
Okay.
But I like students, we tell our power agents, call it a neighborhood market report for a couple of reasons. Number one is everybody uses CMA. Not many call it neighborhood market report. Number two is most homeowners don't know what a CMA is. A neighborhood market report is very clear what it is. It's about the neighborhood, the market in the neighborhood, and it's a report.
Easy.
And it's, yeah. So I like to share, well, watch this. Let me finish this dialogue. This report shows two things. First, it shows how much your neighbors paid for their home. Now, Tristan, that's what a CMA is. But when you tell a homeowner, listen, I got a neighborhood market report I give you, it does two things. Number one is it'll tell you what your neighbors paid for their house. That sounds different. People are nosy. How many times have somebody moved into a neighborhood and the homeowner, that one of the neighbors said, geez, I wonder how much they paid for the house. So that's number one. Number two is it basically gives you the value, what your property is worth, and et cetera. So, and then you can do a certificate when you door knock, a neighborhood market report certificate. You can also, we actually give a cover letter too for agents who want to mail it out as a mass mailing piece. Okay, miscellaneous ideas. So there's so much I can cover. The problem I had with this webinar to do for you, Tristan, was I probably need like 5 hours So I pulled some of my favorite stuff from our website with our members. I'm going to share it with you now.
I think our next one, we could dive in. I mean, the next three, we could kind of break each one down.
Done. We'll do that.
I love that.
By the way, we should make an announcement. I don't know if people are aware, right? We're calling this the Power Agent series, where we're going to be doing this once a month for your people, right? Where I'm going to post some of what we teach our students and share it with your group, right?
That's right, man.
All right. Power Agent series.
I love that. Let me write that down.
All right. So here's one of the things, top 10 projects to increase your home's value. What we're finding, you know this, Tristan, a lot of homeowners have been sheltering in. They've been spending money on their house. And the big question is, where am I going to get the biggest bang for my buck? This is a good mailing piece. You know, there's a little blank space at the bottom because that's where the agent will put their contact information, their name. So there's that piece as an example. Mm-hmm. You know, we've been seeing, you know, there's so much about happening with the climate, whether you're on the West Coast. And by the way, our prayers go out to not just California, but people in the South and the tornadoes and the hurricanes. It's just crazy what's happening. And every year it seems like things get more often and stronger. And so what my company did, Tristan, was we put together some pieces for power agents, like a disaster plan for people that need that, or a pet disaster checklist for families that have pets. And these are things that, because we believe, Tristan, that agents need to be the leaders in their communities to take care of people, right? So in times of challenges and worries and fears, we're frontline workers, in my opinion, when it comes to real estate for people. So we should do that. Here's another one. Prepare your home for the fall and winter. Check the drafts, have an HVAC specialist come in, inspect these are all just promotional pieces that people should be sending out to their farm area. Vacant land, you should send a letter out. Hey, this is an awesome time to sell. If there was any time to sell, now's the time. Absentee owner, same thing. This is, especially in some of the states like New York, Tristan, landlords, they can't evict the tenants if they haven't paid. So some of the landlords have been bleeding money since this pandemic. They would be happy to unload their property, some of these people. So newsletters, I'm just giving ideas. People can send out newsletters at around the holidays, safety tips for Halloween. This is a big one that some of our power agents are doing, Tristan, a Halloween coloring contest. They're telling So what happens is the kids can draw these little cartoons in this. So this flyer you're looking at, Tristan, is actually, it serves two purposes. Number one, it's an advertisement for the contest. And number two, it's the actual entry form for the contest. And I've seen this work so well. Again, what did I say at some point? The best way to a parent's heart is through the children. It gets the children involved. Anything to get kids involved in today's crazy pandemic world. Then what you want to do, this is very important, you want to make everybody a winner. So after the contest is over, every child should get a letter. Congratulations, thank you. You see the second paragraph there? It says, I have enclosed our certificate of creativity as we promised. So everybody's a winner, and then you give them a little certificate like that, the Halloween contest award. The kid gets very excited. Look, mommy, I got an award for my thing. And that's how that works. Okay. Here's another one. How are we doing, Tristan? Everybody learning some stuff here?
Dude, Tiffany says this is fire.
Good. All right. So here, I love this one too. If you go to, whether it's Zillow or you go to, Realtor.com, and you type in, show me a map of all the properties that have sold or that are currently listed, it'll look something like this. Tristan, what you can do is actually take a screenshot of that, print it out, and make that a mailing piece to the farm area saying, hey, I just want to keep you up to date what's happening in the neighborhood. Here's a list of all the homes that are up for sale and that have sold. Now, Tristan, what do you think a homeowner is going to do when they see this? They're going to be like, well, there's something missing here. They're going to be curious. And that's, where's the addresses? So what this does is it teases the homeowner, say, geez, look at all this. There's 300 over here, 220 over there, 400. I think that's near my house. In other words, it helps make the phone ring. Another mailing piece. This website here, puzzlesprint.com, they're in Australia, but they ship to the US for free. Tristan, cheap. cheap puzzles. Cheap puzzles. Now, I don't mean cheap quality. I mean inexpensive, I should say.
It's really
And
good.
what you can do is create like a puzzle that says, puzzled over selling your home. If you want your house for sale, sign turn to so-called Darryl Davis, obviously not me, put your name there. And that's the puzzle. That could be a mailing piece. You can get these things down to less than $2 a puzzle. I think it's like $1.80 I saw, depending on the size and how many you order, like 100. It's not expensive, man.
That's really good, man.
It's a good idea. Wait, there's more. I got to hurry up because we're running out of time. Top reasons to list your home before year end. Yeah, I love this one. 11 reasons to list your home during the holidays.
That's so good.
Public about. I'm just going to burn through this, Tristan, because I want to leave time for questions, and I have so much more slides to go here. This is one of our power agents, Joanne Mills. Look at this, Tristan. Look at the line at this open house. Is this crazy? Now, let me tell you something. You know what's beautiful about this, Tristan? Look at all those other houses behind, in the back of the foreground, the background of the photo. Those neighbors see Joanne Mills' open house. Ming, what is this? Open houses help generate interest in the neighborhood of people considering selling their house. Now, one of the things you can do, you do an open house, you do a mailing to all the neighbors saying, hey, ask a friend to be your neighbor. I love that headline. Ask a friend to be your neighbor. So you promote to all the neighbors saying, hey, listen, a house just came up with me. This opportunity for you to choose your neighbor. You know any friends, families, let them know, come contact me. So that's a mailing to do. This, you can't see with this, Tristan, we were famous for putting these signs up. This is an original photo when I was at age. That's why it's black and white. You can barely see it. That's a logo. It says open house in block letters, and there's the address. Now, I did an open house because I also flip properties from time to time, Tristan. This is one of the properties that I flip. Open house, 55 minutes. It's not as nice as the one that I did when I used to manage an office. But our company policy, Tristan, we put out these open house signs, minimum of 10 with those fluorescent directionals.
Wow.
This is I'm telling you, what's awesome about these signs is it brings people to your open house that are driving around, curious neighbors, people that are working with agents looking at other properties. These signs are powerful. Now, some agents are not going to go through the trouble of making these signs, putting them out and staple them on. So what you could do as an alternative, these signs is the best. I already researched it. There's a lot of sign companies. Yeah. These signs, it was the best price, 11-foot flag sign. You don't put that just in front of the house, Tristan. Go out to the corner where the main street is. Bring the business in. That's the important part. So you want to put out maybe 5, 6, 10 of these to drag people in, okay?
Love it.
Okay, we're gonna skip this one over here. Past clients, here's some ideas. People that when they close this year, they need the HUD statement to give to their accountant. They have it in their files, but if they close in June or July, they're gonna forget. Can they find it? Where is it? So what you do, Tristan, every closing is you get the HUD form, you make a copy of it, you print out this letter. Dear Hana, I hope your New Year's off to a great start. Here's a copy of your HUD form. Give it to your accountant. They need it for taxes. You put it in an envelope. You seal the envelope. You stick it in a box. And throughout the year, February, March, April, you keep collecting these. And then in January 2nd, you go to the post office with your box of closings and you mail out all the letters in one shot. It's just a touch for all the clients, and it's a customer service thing. You got that?
That's awesome, man.
Okay, here we go on. Recommend other vendors to your past clients. You know, negotiate coupons, like a hair salon, an accountant, whatever. Smile stops. You know, we call them smile stops, Tristan. You know, when you stop by and you drop a gift off. The reason why I call it smile stops, we have an acronym for SMILE. It's at the bottom there. You want to be service focused. You want to meet them face to face, invite them to share their needs or questions, leave behind a token of gratitude, elevate the relation. Smile stops. You're making somebody smile when you drop off a little gift.
Dude, you should send me some of these. I'll post them into LabCoats every like 3 days and pin it to the top.
You got it, brother. Done.
This is really good stuff.
Julie, you got that? Did you hear that, Julie? You're still with me, right, Jules?
I am. I will.
All right, good. All right. Julie's she's like God. Like I just call out Julie and
wait, that's like Jake. Jake's office.
Yes.
Power of J.
Julie's
always here.
Oh,
it's the other guy, Jake. Hello, Jake.
So good. That was so good. Darryl, I had a question, which is perfect transition.
Go ahead.
from Christy saying the $5 is a 30-day trial. How much is it after 30 days?
Okay. So I'm going to put up some other things. After that, it's $197 is the value, but we're making it $47, Tristan. So anybody that signs up after the 30 days, like they can lock in at $47 a month and they can cancel anytime. The value is $197, but it's $47 during this coronavirus time. So anybody that gets in now, they lock in the lower price. Got it?
Cool. And what do they get with that? Because I really want to promote you because you're doing this to give value to our audience. So I want to make sure that you get that value back because you're
all right. Let me see if I have it as in the bottom of the slide over here. Okay, so I'll answer that question, and then you know what? We're going to open up to questions. Listen, here, let me say this. So you all saw that I just skipped through some of these slides. They're self-explanatory, so I don't have to teach it now, so we'll save time. But you're going to get a copy of these slides. Here's what happens. When you go to darrylspeaks.com/LCA, you for $5, it's $47 a month, but you get for $5 trial, you get access to everything. Plus, you're going to get some bonuses. Let me show you the bonuses. But that's the answer to questions 47 after. Here's all the bonuses that people get. Tristan, they get a PowerPoint presentation. It's 103 slides to do a virtual listing appointment. Plus, how to deliver it is the second one next to it. Plus, COVID contract addendums. Plus, a new agent starter kit. Plus, 12 dialogues for prospecting. Plus, how to set up a Facebook business page. Plus, that sellers, it's not on the screen here, but that trunk or treat they're going to get. They're going to get that seller's report, that 40-page seller's guide. Now, that's the bonuses they get, all for $5, Tristan.
Dude, I love that. That's
now,
really good.
I'm going to say this really quick. The Power Program, the monthly program, we do calls every Monday just for our Power agents. They're live calls where they can ask me questions. They get webinars on demand. There's a closed Facebook group. There's the website that's loaded with stuff. There's over 400 forums, like the farming self-promotion. I've been teaching from this chapter. There's just, and all of this stuff gets customizable. So anyway, it's an incredible program. I don't want to talk about, I appreciate you saying that, Tristan, but I want to stay focused of giving value. I'm going to keep this up on the screen. So that way people have the website. They should lock it in now for $5. They should go there now. But let's now talk about questions so I can help people.
We've got one. Tiffany says, what is Darryl's opinion on absorption rate? How does he figure the absorption rate?
Okay. So you're probably better at the absorption rate, Tristan, right?
Yeah. I mean, we do. There's nothing magical about the absorption rate, right? So
basically, right. How we would do that is we look at the average days on market based on the average listings that are out there and the sales, and do the math to figure out, do we have 3 months of inventory, 30 days of inventory, 6 months of inventory?
That's what it is. Yeah. And for those people that don't know how you calculate it, you divide the number of homes sold in an allotted time period by the total number of homes that are available. And that gives you what Darryl was saying. Well, then how many homes do we have left in a period of time? A month worth of homes, 2 months worth of homes, 3 months. And then you can determine, well, how's the market based on that? Is it taking 6 months to sell a home, or is it taking 30 days to sell a home? Right. That's the key.
So just to do an example of that, if you've got 100 listings and there were 50 sales in 1 month, you divide 50 into 100, that means it's going to be 2 months for you to sell off all the current listings that are on the market, right?
That's it. Good question. Good question, buddy. All right. So Darryl, next one that we're going to do, what do you want to break it down into? We had referrals, past clients, farming. Do you want to do farming first?
Yeah, we could. We can do that. We can. Let's do this. We have. It's going to be 30 days from now, right?
Yeah.
Let's give it a couple of weeks. Let's see where we are in this economy of the market, what I like to do is bring things that are relevant based on what's happened. So let's give it a couple of weeks and see. I thought this was a good topic going into the new quarter to plant the seeds for people. And yeah, let's firm it up in a couple of weeks, you and I.
Darryl, can you or God, whichever one, send me the slides that you guys had for the trunk or treat?
Yep.
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a 5-minute talk on lab coats, and I'm going to bring those up and I'm going to give you credit for those because I think people need to focus on that for Halloween.
Yeah, I think this trunk or treat, like of everything that we covered. So how many slides did we go over today? Which again, anybody that signs up. Yep, you're right. 101 slides if I take out the power agent thing there. So of everything that we covered, this right here, this trunk or treat is probably the one thing everybody should focus on. It has so many benefits. It gives back to the community too, right? Because again, we're making a safe environment for the kids. You know, Tristan, when I was researching this for this year, I was curious, what are people doing in a COVID world on Halloween? And you know what I saw? A lot of people, they're trying to figure out how to give candy to the kids and stay 6 feet apart. And I saw like PVC tubing from the front door to the curb where you put the candy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That was a video that I saw. That was funny. Yes.
And then I saw like a slingshot, although that's a lawsuit waiting to happen with the candy. So, and I thought to myself, this is such a great program, this trunk or treat in this COVID world. It's safer for the kids, safer for the family. It brings everybody together. It's just an awesome idea. So yes, I'll be more than happy. Julie will send to Jake this information, okay?
Yeah, Julie, you can send it, or you can send it to me. I want that one. And I took a picture of the coloring book, letter, and certificate. So I want to talk about those, and then I give you guys credit for that.
You want all the Halloween stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to do like a 5-minute video highlighting that. I'll throw in some of my ideas in there, but I'm going to give you guys credit because that was awesome.
All right, well then I'll just send it myself to you. I have your email, Tristan. I'll take those slides out. I'll send you the PowerPoint slides of just those things.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's plan the next one.
All right, you got it, brother.
All right, everybody, go to darrylspeaks.com/LCA, and then I'll post it up into LabCoatAgents as well.
All right, thanks again, Tris. Everybody stay safe, stay focused, and keep smiling.
Always. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.